on Parkman now, I think.
Right. But it must be all new, and or is it not quite the same as Manchester? You know, Manchester's spoiled now. You know, the office.
Yes, it's everywhere, isn't it? It's like, because we're looking for, I mean, we'll need kind of initial co-working space, you know, from next month onwards, just so we can start doing things. And there's just so many options. It's like you've got the
we got Samson coming in. Good. Hi, Samson. So Samson's joining from South Africa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. Are you driving or? Samson, are you driving or are you in office?
Sorry, can you
yeah.
Okay, I think your bandwidth is down. I think. Okay, so we are recording this, so if you drop out halfway, I can still share the video. I think we got one. I mean, I sent it to quite a number of people, but unlike Zoom, you know, it's only about, you know, even Susan, you just registered just now, right? So I think Hopin might be operating slightly different. People have to register, I think. So when I looked at last time, there was only 3 people. Babatunde is from UK, but is not here.
I've got.
Oh, we got a few more people coming up. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, hi. Hi, Theo. How are you?
Hi, Manoj. Good afternoon.
Yeah. So, have you moved to UK or somewhere, or are you still in Nigeria?
I'm in the UK.
Okay. Okay. Where about?
Nottingham.
Nottingham. Okay. So, do you guys want to do a quick introduction so that I think there's only one other person joining? So, Theo's building a legal tech company, and Samson's trying to build a logistic company, and Reese and Susan are building. They got a business called Wave Tech, but they're just trying to spin out another company as well. Okay, so I'm going to find out how to screen share. Share screen will start. Entire screen. Right, I think I got a couple of slides, 2-3 slides, I think. Okay, so basically, to get the best out of SkilledUp Live, there's 3 things you need to understand. One is that you need to understand the process. You have to have some systems set up and have tools, but you have to continually ask for help if things are not working out as you plan. And most likely, you would have to keep asking for help. And, you know, we have a lot of different ways of helping. So what we also find is that people who do not ask for help don't actually get the value, and they get disappointed and they leave. So I don't really want that happening. So we can go into more depth in these 3 areas. And it took us a long time to realize this. And what we are now suggesting to everyone who join is that, you know, you might want to join us to get developers or some specific areas. But it's best if you follow this process, which is that, you know, think about, you know, getting an HR volunteer who could, you know, understand the process and could be the person. I mean, you could get more than one person. So I think in my team, we have like 16 people. And they can sit between yourself and us, understand the system, you know, our process, and find the best fit talent. And we also suggest that you can also take on executive assistant volunteer, or, you know, in the case of Reese and Susan, you could have 2, you could have many if you want to, because we got so much talent, and that they can do the whatever the odd task you have. And they are basically, what I find is that executive assistants are multitaskers, whereas others are around a single discipline. So we suggest now to get those 2 people in. And then the other strategy is that you could come and just grab a couple of people, but we are suggesting that you treat us as a as a strategic supplier of talent and consider us long term. So if you join us for a month expecting results, it might not happen. But if you come on board, you could still pay monthly subscription fees, or you could go annual. But if you come on board thinking, okay, we're going to work with SkilledUp Live for the next 12 months to see how this is going to work, then you are likely to get better results. But again, I'll come back to the same point. You got to ask for help, because this is slightly different from other type of talent you might have used. So then the other two big strategies are about, what can you do? We have 40,000 people, and our task is to get that to, keep adding more and more people. You could take an approach of building teams, or, you could build a whole, let's say, for example, a whole marketing team. How would you structure that? Or the other one is that you could look at saying who's in your team, and you could build skilled volunteers around those team members. So for ourselves, when we started, there was just me in August 2020, and then I hired Mithun in November 2020. So Mithun joined as staff, a paid staff, not as a volunteer. And it took us several months more before we started using the first volunteer. Now we have a volunteer team of about 90 people. And in the past, we had to sort of put the brakes because we were using, naively, we set up email accounts on AWS, and we were sort of, AWS was eating our credits about £500 a month. We now switch over to a free service. So we can have 1,000 email accounts. So we will probably over the couple of years, we'll probably get to that point, but we need to have structures in place. Mm-hmm. So if you're building, if you end up having, let's say, 25 or more people, you probably need to have a lot more structures. Mm. So those are a couple of things. So I'll come back to explaining the process. So the process starts by, later. I should add all the windows open, but I didn't. Right. So if you go to companies, we are still running version 1, and I try to build version 2, which would be much easier. If you come to under companies, look at resources. Then the key one is looking at the volunteer sourcing process. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have HR volunteers in place, then they ought to be following this, and if not, then obviously you have to follow it. Mm-hmm. So what we suggest is that look at the next 12 months, or if that's too far ahead, let's look at the next 3 months. Mm-hmm. What other talent you need. And then you need to, once you know the need, you have to then turn each need into a opportunity and publish that. So if we look at the format that we suggest is, so again, if you go to opportunities, and this list will come on top. So at the top is one, I sort of made it urgent, so it becomes sticky. This is the standard we suggest. You need to have a brief about the company. You've got to get people excited, so you need to have a brief about the company. Talk about what the opportunity is. If you have a specific requirement, obviously, if you operate in English language, you want to make sure that person can speak and write both. We have Spanish speakers, and we haven't had any other language request from companies, except I think we've seen some French requirements. So we haven't actually done anything with French yet. And then you got to say, what are the volunteer activities are that person's going to perform. It doesn't really matter if you don't get this 100% correct, because I think once people join, you might find that, they might be good on certain areas, and you could work that out, but you need to give some idea. Mm-hmm. Please don't use the word job, because we are not here we are not offering jobs. So you could get in trouble if you use our word, the job. And now what we're trying to do is to flip over and talk about what will the person get, right? And specify the actual timing. So our recommendation now is that 2 hours per day for 60 volunteer days over a 3 months volunteer agreement. And then you are given a commitment to say that if the person complete that term satisfactorily, then you will offer a letter of recommendation and a link. Normally that's what, people are asking for certificate. We're not actually doing certificate yet. And then, we, for ourselves, we issue a letter of recommendation and a LinkedIn testimonial. Sometimes when you issue, I think only once or twice, somebody hired this individual afterwards, and as part of the process, agency got in touch to just verify what that individual did. And this is very important. You need to type this in. When you create opportunity, it's at the bottom. You have to just copy and paste, basically saying, this is a volunteer position. There's no direct financial compensation or promise of future paid work.
Yes.
You can't even give a Amazon voucher. Now, once the volunteer agreement has ended, and if you are happy and if you want to hire that person, you can go into a commercial agreement outside our environment. But while they are with us, or at least, let's say, if they done, it's only 2 weeks left in their volunteer term, then you could start talking about maybe following up on a commercial contract or whatever. But please don't give any hint that there's going to be a job or paid work at the end, because then we're going to run into legal issues.
Yes. No, that makes sense.
Okay, so it's very important, and so just if you follow this process, it ought to be okay. So the other thing in addition to that is, what I'll do is I'll quickly look at what Susan, you have. What happened here is that obviously this is not in compliance with what we suggest. So please update. But also just looking at here, this is quite confusing. So remember that if you're actually hiring, typically you will try to get someone who does many things. Now here what will happen is that you're getting someone for 2 hours a day, and you could that could you could say this is a content writer. Writer. So we have individuals come in as copywriters. So you don't necessarily need to explain fully what that individual is going to do. But what they want to know is that if they do this volunteer term, could they then go and get a job using that? And obviously when they go and get a job, they're applying for copywriting job. So if you then make sure that this header matches with jobs outside, it's better.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
And now I'm going to jump to where am I? Okay. Oh, no, there. Okay. So all of you should have got a login to Customer Hub. This is completely separate from SkilledUp Live. So this is a separate login. So please don't get confusing. It's the same password, etc. It's not.
Okay.
Right. Now the way to use this, Reese and Susan, Reese, it's the same template as Texarate community. So the place to go first is to go to My Groups, and in here we have 5 areas. So the sourcing process is what we really need to get right at the beginning, and you could see that discussions, various discussions taking place here. Was it discussions? Okay. Sorry. Let's look at the feed. Okay. Oh, I can't find the one I was looking for. But basically, I think, in the past we had dialogue about, oh, okay, sorry, what happened here is I'm in this wrong place. Sorry, beg your pardon. Under this main group, we have 7 subgroups.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the, where's number 1, listing opportunities. Right. So there's some videos, etc. as well. But, sorry, it jumps. So that getting that header is important. So, sorry, it's my browser. I should be on Wavebox.
Yeah.
Okay, so these were some of the headers some people had. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to, that header is very important.
Yeah.
So coming back to okay, the next one is that it is important to have a good profile. This is good. You have video and some text, and I think I've seen. I need to check. I think it's something else. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a little bit more text, and he's trying to get people excited about. Okay, Samsung doesn't have video, but don't go too much. Don't write very long. 3 paragraphs is good, right? So those are the 2 things to get right in terms of the opportunity and the company profile. Then what, I log into our account.
Have you got login for Accelerate then?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So so on the dashboard, we are still running version 1, so apologies for the poor UI. But what you want to look at is application received.
Mm-hmm. Good one. Yeah.
Very slow. Okay. Come on. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then you could pick up any application, specific application.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see that obviously we try hard to get people to have complete profile, and some don't. While it's not necessarily have a picture, but picture means who you're speaking to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to speak to people, and I like to see their face. So if you look at Cindy, for example, you could go and review. So if you find a person you think is great, please don't go and approve. Right? Approval is after you sign the volunteer agreement.
Right.
Then you click that. But if that person is not right, you could reject. We encourage you to send a quick direct message saying why you rejected.
Yeah.
I think it's courteous. I know sometimes you have a lot of applicants, and it might not be easy, but we encourage, if it would be great if you can do. So you could look at here, and in this case, she has a little bit of information. We try to tell people to introduce themselves and also highlight which area they want to focus on.
Yeah.
So it's great that the opportunity you have align with their career aspirations.
Yes.
Sometimes people have the tendency to apply for many things, but we tried hard to convince them, saying, you are here to actually get experience that going to help you with your career projection rather than just get any experience. So in this case, I mean, she doesn't have much, but you could take a view. Let's see, Emmanuel.
That's good.
Okay, again, in this case, he's written quite a bit about himself, and he's saying he's seeking HR. He want to be a HR professional. So, and that was a HR opportunity, and he's highlighting his experience to date. And what we also try to get people to do is to actually say, these are my skills, and also give a level of competence out of 100. Some people haven't, in this case, he hasn't done it. So based on that, you could decide, okay, I want to take this person forward. If not, just reject. And if, we are very guilty of ourselves of not actually processing applications quickly, even though we have a large team. So if I then go back to while it's doing that, so okay, so you publish the opportunity, and you are now basically you are reactive, but equally you could go and search profiles and try to find matching ones. Now this probably sometimes, if I'm doing a demo, this takes even longer. I'll let it run, and basically you can go and look for profiles and approach them and say, we got this opportunity, please come and apply. So we have a pre-qualification questionnaire. Please remember, this is ours. This is not yours. So you have to do this outside us at the moment. It's not baked into the workflow on SkilledUp Live. What we suggest is you create your own pre-qualification questionnaire. You could take this as a guideline, but you might want to add a lot more than this in qualifying. The reason is that if you have a lot of applications, you have to find a way to pick the best filter. And that's why we came up with this. Now, I know some of our customers have a testing stage as well, competency testing and all the other things. Remember, these are not paid jobs, so you don't necessarily need to go crazy. But you need to have something that works and give you enough confidence. Okay. So coming back, I don't need that one. And then once we suggest you have an interview. Typically, we have a 30-minute interview. It's a general chat. Make sure both parties understand the obligations towards each other, and you get another opportunity to assess. And then we suggest you go and sign a volunteer agreement. Now, all the documentation are in here. So if you go onto the Customer Hub, click on Documents, and you could see here SkilledUp Live sourcing process documents. So the documents that we share are all in here, including a volunteer agreement. So you can go and download this and change as you wish. Our current team actually have 2 lawyers, and they're going to review this and make it even better. We have tried to capture address issues like intellectual property, non-disclosure, and I think if you're gonna give exposure to your code base, our suggestion is that try not to expose them to everything, so they have you somehow control which parts they have access rather than everything, and so you got to manage that. Okay, and then coming back to that, obviously once signed the volunteer agreement, you got to onboard them and provide any training that's necessary, and if you can do this very quickly, then it's easier for everybody. If you take weeks and weeks, they're going to lose interest and you're not going to have a good experience. So if you can do it in a week, that's great. So what we do is that we create email accounts, Google Drives, and we add them to Slack. I'll show you Slack in a minute. Each person get all these 3. And I'm now trying to create them on Sunday night, Monday. They get a welcome email, which is sent by my HR team. So your HR volunteer can follow the same. And then the onboarding process starts. Obviously, then you need to agree the time. Then you might want to do some performance monitoring if you have especially large team. We suggest 3 at the beginning just to get a good understanding, halfway through, and then towards the end. And then you go to offboard. Offboarding is getting them off your systems, and also issuing a letter of recommendation and testimonial. And then obviously all our roles pretty much are rolling over. So when before somebody leaves, we have another person line up. There's no stop to what they were doing. So we call that succession planning. So you need to make sure that someone else is lined up, fully trained to take on board, and there's not going to be any drop in overall performance. So that's the process. So this can be accessed from here as well as on the customer hub. So if you ask more questions from here, we will answer, and there's bits and pieces in here as well. Now, if I go back to the slides, so that's sort of understanding the process. I was supposed to finish this in 30 minutes, but it's dragging on. Okay, I'll be quick. So the systems. So we use Slack. We use as much as possible free tools. And we have created a system called daily reporting. And this means that everyone, including myself, all the paid talent, as well as everyone, has to say what they did. And you have to, we try to make it very simple. So they're saying, I don't know what networking means. So there's been some, I'm not very happy with that, but that's okay. But they are actually saying what they did, right? And I do mine as well. So this has allowed people, basically in our case, we are very transparent, so they can see, I'm doing it as well. And we are open, and so they feel they are part of a community. And it's not like, giving them a go and find leads and you don't engage with them. That's probably not going to work out well, right? So Slack is where everything happens. Obviously, we are using free, so Slack only shows us the last 90 days conversation, and that has been fine with us. And then we have all these other teams, etc. So just to give a little bit of an understanding about how we structured. Obviously, we are now in our 4th year, so we didn't quite do this at the beginning. We didn't quite have a product team because I was a product guy, but we now have a product team. We have a marketing team, and we have I'm building a sales team. I failed twice, but 3rd time I want to be lucky. There's a lot to do with building a sales team. We have a support team. We have a HR team. We just started a research team. We got legal. 2 people legal. They are girlfriend and boyfriend. They came as a pair. That's fine. They're doing well. No fights yet. So you could build anything, right? And we got accountants. I haven't used any accountants, but we got a lot of finance students as well. The other thing is, don't think everyone on SkilledUp Live are fresh graduates. That is not true. I'll just show you some of our team very quickly, just to give you an example. So we use lots of spreadsheets. I don't know whether you can have Google Workspace Essentials that gives you 100 accounts free, and I got 5 of those accounts. Right? So you don't need to pay, but you don't get email with that. That's the only thing you don't get. So if I show you a few people from our team, so Janet, I'll show you Ainike. Her profile might not look that interesting, but just to give you an example, when she joined us, she's a lawyer, a lot of experience, legal side. She wanted to get HR experience. She did. She ran the HR. This is like 2 years ago. And after about a year of that, she got a big HR job in a multinational. But she's coming back as head of Nigeria for us while doing that job, which is quite a responsible job she's doing. So we have people like that. And one of the recent hires is Kingsley. I've given Kingsley where's Kingsley? I can't read. Oh, okay. Kingsley is going to build our research team. All right. So he's got a lot of experience, and we have a lot of good people coming from Nigeria and from all over the place. So you could tap into all that. And sometimes these individuals may not apply because they created the profile, they're busy, but you could search the online database. Okay, so this is the online one, and you could select some here, and you could search for whatever you want, and you could then sort of headhunt within our own space, right? So where are we now? Okay, so I've done that. I spoke about. So we can go back to. Sorry, where are we? No. Okay, so if you go back to groups again. So we had, I mean, we don't use any clever HR type software, but some others might be. So there has been some dialogue around systems and tools. And you could go and have a look. You can ask more questions and we will try to help. So for us, Slack is very important. So we use Trello for progress tracking or task. We use, I mean, the things we use PandaDoc for e-signing. It's free. We use a free version, which is good enough. We use Trello, Slack, Google, emails we use through the hosting provider, so that's free. Yes, so those are the things we use. So okay, I think I'll stop. Let me go back quickly to the. Okay, yeah, we talk about that. Help. So the help comes in a number of ways. One is that you could, our preference is use the customer hub as much as possible. So when you do, you're not just getting one-sided story just from us. You could get feedback from others. So very few are actually using this. I think it's just human nature. But the two of the individuals who's using us heavily are Steve is ex-Facebook. He's trying to build a privacy tech startup. He can't actually explain it in simple words, so I don't fully get it. But he's been with us for a long time. And you got Craig. Craig doesn't actually use here, but Craig is from TechSerred as well. So we have a few other people, and Dimitri is another person. So very quickly, this is one support. We prefer to have this. And then if you go to the website, you always have support here. And that support is, okay, I forgot to tell you, we use Talk. This is our support channel. And Talk is free as well. Talk doesn't have a paid plan. It's always free, except they have paid agents. And those agents are like £1 an hour or something. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
So we got this. Sorry, that's through here. We got the support channel and the what else? And we run these workshops. Used to run this. We'll run this once a month. And then what we have is LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn, we run events almost every day now. We run in Spanish as well. We run in Indonesian language and Spanish. So if you go to, I think I had to view as a member, and how do you find event? This was a little bit, okay. So you had to go down and there was somewhere last time. Okay, show more all content. I think you can find it. I found earlier because I can see it from as admin.
Yep.
But their UI isn't. Okay, there you go. Sorry. If you go to home, it shows you here, so you could see all these events, right? And what one of our customers, what Dimitri does is that he always join. Right. So and what he does is he come and talk about his company. We let him speak because it's really good, and then that's another chance to engage. And you could look at this as two ways. One is you are basically pitching to talent. Second is that you're actually promoting what you're doing, right? Every time you speak about your brand, people get to hear about it. So we encourage you to use this. We run events. If you go and see events now, we got two. The Friday one is run by me, so I only do once a week. But we have past events, and I think there's going to be more events. And we are now doing an event on Twitter on Thursday night, I think about 7 o'clock. And we look at other channels as well. So that's sort of the introduction. Now I'm happy to take answers. You can talk to each other as well if you wish to.
Excellent. Yes, we've been following along on our account here, and we're already seeing how we've had one applicant, so we can actually see what that looks like. I think we'll definitely update to make sure the listing is compliant, and it gives us more ideas now how to kind of put in play what we think, say, over the next 3-6 months, the things that we want to try and achieve. And like you say, putting in some top level kind of HR kind of skill as well to help with that. Otherwise, you're just putting everything to one point at the top. So yeah, I think that's
so very, very quickly about the HR, the way that we have sub teams. So we have a HR head of HR who was previously a volunteer, but she's now paid. She's on salary. So we got a head of HR. Under her, we have I think 4 teams. One is on recruitment and selection. Another one on onboarding and training. Another subsection is performance and terminations. There are people who doesn't, and you have to be, these are volunteers and they can change their mind anytime. And we have quite a dropout rate as well. So don't get too upset, but talk to us and then we can try to help you. So the third one is called, what was it called? Performance management and termination. And the fourth one is the way we structured is very much on succession planning and offboarding. So, getting those certificates, etc. Hi, Preston. Did you just join or you've been here?
Hello. I joined maybe like 4 minutes ago.
All right. Okay, we got a recording, so I'll share the recording with you. Okay, so the I'm quite happy to talk about if you have ideas about how you want to structure this. Quite happy we can talk about it. So for marketing, the way we structure teams is that we have content creation team, which got graphic designers. We use Canva, again, free, but they are coming back and saying that you won't be able to add team members or remove them after end of next month. So we got to put it up with team members. So, we got content creation, we have graphic designers, copywriters. We haven't been successful ourselves getting a video creator, but we will eventually. And then we have content distribution, which is putting on social media engagement. So for example, LinkedIn, we have 53,000 followers. And then we have events now, big thing for us. What we've seen is a lot of engagement. We have a whole team on going and acquiring more talent, but that team has sort of never spoken. And what we are seeing now is by giving people a chance to talk to us through LinkedIn events has really helped us. Because some people are saying, we've been on your SkilledUp Live for 2 years. We haven't heard it from anyone else. So we can actually now try to help them. And we haven't done others, like we want to build other parts to it. We want to have the website as another team. But, we are building a PR team. Our case studies hasn't been really worked out. We haven't really captured case studies. We want to build a case study team. So, from our side, we are building a brand. So we need a lot of exposure. So any questions, Theo? You've been here. I think you are leaving us, but we hope you will come back one day.
Okay, so looking at the what's it called, like the participants in this, I was hoping that this session would be like between you, I, and people that work at SkilledUp Live. Or I imagine that this is like a customer onboarding session, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's some things I would want to tell you that I'm not sure you would want.
Oh, I don't mind. I mean, you could. I don't mind. You could tell me what didn't work. That's fine.
Okay. So, I mean, joining this meeting today has been quite helpful because, I mean, you started out by saying that you cannot join for 1 month or 2 months and expect to like reap the long-term rewards that SkilledUp Life offers, because we've just been with you for about 2 months, right?
Yeah.
And I think the major challenge we have had so far is the fact that we're not able to get the quality of people that we need as it relates to development. So, because the current legal tech project that we're currently running requires a very good, although personally we have like a very good front-end developer. My co-founder is even a front-end developer, or we've been needing like a very good back-end developer, and we have not been able to get a very good back-end developer on the platform. And we've gotten a wide range of applications from people, but none of them actually tick that box. And the ones that seem to do, you already know what I told you something about the ones that seem to tick to represent what we want. And we also need like AI developers, but we are not able to get those on the platform. So the remaining ones we've been able to get volunteer HR people, executive assistants, some graphic designers, and just some other roles. Those people I can actually like. There are people. I'm not saying you're not doing a good job, but there are people I can actually get myself.
Okay.
On LinkedIn, I just made a post recently. I think I told you about it. Inviting people to join our legal tech projects, and I got applications just from my LinkedIn post alone. I got about, I would say 180 people applying.
Okay.
Talking about the fact that they want to do this, they want to do that. The 180 people that applied, I experienced the same problem with them. It was so hard to fish out the ones that were very, very skilled. Most of them were joining just because they needed experience, but they didn't really have what we want. But eventually we were able to get community managers, 1 or 2 graphic designers, 1 or 2 UI UX designers, right? But when it comes to like the very life of tech projects, which would relate to cloud engineering, back-end development, for instance, AI development, we're not able to we are not able to like get those people on the platform. But now you are saying that it has to be like a long-term thing, and that these people are actually there, and that we just need to like wait it out. Which is why I suggested that, okay, to even like as a show of goodwill, to even show us that, okay, these people are actually here. You just need to like wait. I was asking if you could manually from the SkilledUp Life platform. I wasn't asking you to bring someone from somewhere else, from that same SkilledUp Life platform. If we could, through your help and intervention, get at least 1 backend developer, then we would know that, okay, this platform actually has got these people, or we just need to wait it out or improve our processes. But you said you would charge me thousands of pounds to do that. So
what I said is I can't be a recruitment agent. We are not we're not running SkilledUp Life as a recruitment service. We can't find the talent. We can promote. We can promote. We can keep an eye on. We can't. If you said I need these 10 people, go and find them. That's actually a recruitment service. So we are not going to operate as a recruitment service. We are bringing people together. We are showing the process. We're trying to help in that manner, but we can't go and find individuals. Now, it is possible that you could have a good relationship with our support team, so they know who you are, know what you need, and they could help. But we can't do what you ask us. Now, the other thing with AI is that you are right. It's very hard to find AI people, especially. You might actually need them for more than 2 hours a day, right? So we are trying to provide people just 2 hours per day. But if you have a critical project, I think what we want to tell is that we are part of the solution in terms of talent. We are not the only solution. So you can't rely 100% on us for everything. And I think when it comes to technical, we might not be that good, because you're looking at probably full-time type people, right?
No, we're not. We're not. So the thing is, we actually have an AI developer, right?
Okay.
So all these people, even the backend I'm talking about, we have a backend developer. So we actually like have all these high level people, at least one of them.
Okay.
But so we are just like trying to like get additional support from you guys. That's why I was just asking for all those things.
Right.
So you are saying that, well, it's not something that you can do, but that if I have a special relationship with your support team, then they may be able to like assist in some way in that regard.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's something that can remotely be done, I mean, I personally would see it as a show. I know we've not paid a lot. I mean, just £60 2 months. It's not so much.
Yeah.
But I would like to think that as a show of goodwill, you're not recruiting for us because it's still your platform. I mean, just a one-time thing, showing us that okay, here is someone that can work for you guys for two just to show us that wow, these people you are looking for are actually on this platform, and that if you wait it out.
Theo, this is why we recommend highly that you get a HR volunteer.
That was the first thing I did.
Yeah. So that's what the HR volunteer ought to be doing, going through the database.
That's what they do.
Our support.
Okay. That's
so,
what they do. But that there's not so much they can do if we ourselves we've gone through the platform, because now we're not just relying on the applications. We've actually taken our time to sweep through, maybe not through the 40,000 people you have on your platform, but substantially, at least we run the search bar, backend developer. We just search a number of people. There's a drop down of people.
Yeah.
And we actually like check their profile. They don't seem to. They don't seem to. They're not. They don't seem to be impressive. And the ones that are, I told you what we've encountered in that regard. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So I take it, you're not happy, but I think we, we try to get the talent, and it might be that certain roles, we don't have strength, or we can't provide the specific service where we actually look for the individuals on your behalf. We cannot do that. That's why we insist on getting a bunch of HR volunteers if one person can't do it, and then we can teach them through support, etc., how to do this effectively, and it becomes their role and they are under you, but we can't.
So is there some form of training that you guys can do for those HR people?
Yes, I mean, we used to do training, but we haven't done it for a long time. But we can look at whether we can look at restarting that, like a once a month training type thing.
Okay.
But what we found is that last time we had loads of people, like 100 people came, and we really struggled to cope. But we didn't use Hopin, so maybe Hopin, I think, gives us a bit more control.
Okay.
So that might be something we can do, but we will categorically not going to find individuals. But that's why I said the support team might favor you or your HR volunteer if they ask, because as I said, ask for help. So they are there to help, but as a service, we are not offering what you asked. But you can use our, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm struggling to but I mean, if it's a policy, I mean, if it's a strict policy, then that's totally fine. I mean, it's your company,
Yeah,
it's totally fine. I understand.
I mean, we just can't do it, because then we become a recruitment agency, and
that's fine.
And then if everybody wants that, if Susan knows that I'm doing this for you, Susan will come and say, "Why you're not doing this?" So we can't do it, and then we'll end up just doing that. So our real role is that we want to bring the talent from outside, make them aware of the process, and then they build a long-term relationship with us. And on this regard, what we are also doing is that we are teaming up with education providers. So especially in Nigeria, we are working with UTIWA and a few others, and then we just brought in head of partnerships, Janet, and she'll be doing a lot more to bring more and more. So you might still call them how they say that might say they are not very experienced, but I think when it comes to software development, if you want a really good developer, we might not be the right place, right? If they have a lot of experience, they're not going to commit. We do have some software engineers who are very experienced and they are more of giving back. So they would get involved. But we haven't focused on, so from my point of view, we are about finding out what does it take to build a tech company. And we are not giving any special consideration to the product. We are giving equal consideration.
All right, that's fine.
Because we know that, finding good developers is hard. And, if we try to offer them free, I think there's a problem. So we are getting junior developers. We are getting people who can build things, but they might not be the best in the market. And I think you are better off looking somewhere else, freelancers and others, because obviously they want to earn money and they are in high demand. Whereas, from other disciplines, we should have the right talent. I mean, we have lawyers, we have accountants. Nobody's asking for accountants, and they're getting a little bit upset with me. But we do have lawyers, and I'm actually using 2 of them. So, yeah.
All right, that's fine. I understand. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
yeah.
If I could just add something that might be helpful for Theophilus. So really, I mean, I'm a software engineer. I've spent over a decade writing codes. So one thing I will tell you for a fact really is that it would almost be impossible to find at least a mid-level or senior level back-end person on SkilledUp Live. Really, from my own perspective or from the way that I see it, SkilledUp Live it's basically like an auxiliary service, right? So it provides some sort of added support to a system that you already have. So an easier way to sort of scale whatever you're building would be on your founding team, right? You can have one person who's like a very great back-end guy, right? I mean, it might be, I don't know how large your infrastructure is, or if you're building on microservices and all of these things. But if you have one really great, back-end person, then what you can do is use this junior talents, right, to, perform some of the other tasks. So for example, if on your task board on Jira, you have 100 tasks within a sprint to get done, your senior developer can focus on more logic and functionalities, and then have the junior developers do the lesser task, right? So you'll just have your senior developer doing a lot of pull requests and, just reviews, right? Such that you ensure that you have a code structure. So again, I think when you're using like volunteer services, the goal really shouldn't be looking for exceptional talents. You have to look at it 2 ways, right? It has to be beneficial to you as well as to the volunteers who are coming into your company, right? So you have to build like a structure, right? So how do you want to structure like these talents that are coming through your pipeline? And what's your operational process that enables these guys to grow and add value also to the company? I hope that makes some sense and it's valuable.
Yeah, it does. Thank you very much, Preston. I don't know if I can call you Preston. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, I am just getting like the correct perspective to what I can get out of SkilledUp Life now, because initially I would want to say my expectations, but my perspective and that of my co-founder is that signing up to just get like a host of all these high-level people on the platform, right? Yeah. So now that we know what we can get out of it and what not to exactly bank on, it would now inform our choices going forward. Yeah. Because like I said, SkilledUp Live has been very useful for all those other roles like, social media managers, graphic designers, just the other ones that are not so technical in that regard. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, Preston. Samson, do you have any questions? We got about 5 minutes. I don't know whether you were you listened to all that, or you got cut off?
Hi. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Look, I'm new. Supposedly, I think at this stage, I think I'm in the process of obviously I've received a couple of applications for the HR, and I've also simultaneously blessed executive assistant ad. But thank you for going through my ad. It seems like maybe I'm just putting just too much information that might maybe a little bit scare people because maybe there's just so many things. So what I would just try and do, I'll try and compress it, make it simple, and ideally maybe try and also drop a video so that at least we can just put the face behind. But look, in the meantime, I think I'm just waiting to select someone that applied meet all the requirements but didn't respond. So I sent an email, contacted them through the system. But I think that's the nature, of the process. Some people, they would apply, show interest, but you say, okay, cool, let's take it further, and then unfortunately they don't comply. And also, just wanted to check in terms of a questionnaire. I did send them a questionnaire. I was not aware that it all comes to you, but look, that's a learning process. If you could perhaps, maybe, I don't know, if you could suggest your free, tools that I can use for your questionnaire, so that I can.
So Samson, we're trying to.
them.
I think we shared quite a lot to the customer hub. So if you go and look at the group, yes. So and some of our customers shared what they use as well. So we're trying to have just a handful of tools, but that's enough for our operation. But
Okay. Yeah. So for me, baby steps. Hopefully that within a month I would have at least a team of 2 or 3.
Yes.
And obviously a product manager comes into play, and yeah, take it from there. I've given myself at least, if I could take off within 6 months, just if I could start seeing a picture of what I'm building, within a period of 3 to 6 months, and then when I hit a year, I would know that at least I'm doing more of fine tuning, refining, but I know that exactly the picture is in the market. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. So we do have Theo. We do have product managers who have quite a bit of experience as well. So not quite developers, but that could be another option. We only got a few minutes. Susan and Reese, do you have any specific questions? So.
No, I think I guess just another one for Theo. In the scoping we did before on the kind of technical side, we thought splitting out things like testing would be suitable for SkilledUp Life as something that would sit alongside the development cycle that we have. And I think from the discussions today, I think that's kind of just reinforced what we thought would fit. So, but it's good to know, where people are and kind of align everything so we can get the most out of it.
So we ourselves, I got D-Light as well. We haven't really been successful with getting AI people ourselves. We do have them, but holding on to them hasn't been that great.
No, this is
yeah. So I think what I would say is that we have, let's say, product people, especially software engineers and others are always tricky.
Yeah.
But we do have product managers, and we have quite a lot of UI folks and UX folks.
Yes.
There are some decent ones there as well, but actual software engineers a little bit tricky. However, we are building a leaderboard app, so we are with the second developer who's from the first one was from China. We now have a Mexican lady, and we finally got a product owner because it was my pet project. So hopefully we'll get that out some point in time. And if that's the case, it will be 100% built by volunteers with a little bit of guidance from me, very little. And that will be a good one to prove, saying that, yes, volunteers can build, but it is tricky. We do have back end and front end. It's just tricky a little bit. And I would say you had to be a little bit lucky to find a really good one. In our case, it's good. It's just that, we still need, now we need the third one to come in because 2 has done their terms. It's not on our critical path, so that's why it's not really main focus. So thank you so much for coming and spending an hour. And I think you could just, I think the way Hopin works is if you come back to the same link, I think you could see the whole video.
Okay.
I'm not going to download, and so we'll leave it there. So what I'll do is that we might do 2 events a month. One is for the new customers like this, and then we'll have one session where we'll spend an hour Q&A, and maybe we'll talk about what's new then. And I think just like what Preston did, Preston was able to explain it much better than me, even though Preston just signed up.
It's okay.